Sometimes in our lives, we are about to approach something so important. We need to make sure that we have planned for it and we have planned perfectly. Ibrahim alayhi salam now has to not just leave his father's home, now he has to leave the city. And Ibrahim alayhi salam has planned to do something. In his mind, he has already planned that there is something that I have to do, and it's got to be something drastic in order for these idol worshippers, my people, to really take me seriously. So what does he do? Ibrahim alayhi salam leaves the city, but he knows that there's a celebration that is going to take place, an annual celebration where the whole city leaves their homes and their dwellings and they go by the riverbank, where they go and celebrate. Ibrahim alayhi salam waits for the perfect time, and he walks through the city, which is completely quiet and desolate, carrying a sharp axe, and he goes straight into the temple. And when he goes into the temple, Ibrahim alayhi salam looks at the idols that are all around him. And then he takes the plates of food that are already in front of them and he puts it in front of them. And he says that, why aren't you eating? The food's going to get cold. Why haven't you eaten? Why aren't you speaking to me? Why don't you say something to me? Answer me. And the idols stay quiet because they're lifeless. They can't do anything. And as Ibrahim alayhi salam is looking at all the idols around him, he takes the sharp axe and he starts to break each and every one of the idols, and he destroys everything inside of there except for one. And that's the largest one that is there, the one that he used to play with as a child. And he takes that axe and he hangs it around its neck. And then he walks away. Ibrahim alayhi salam doesn't leave the city. He patiently waits until everyone comes back from their celebration. And when they come back, the priests, when they go back into the temple and they see that all the idols are broken, they start to have a huge commotion saying, "Who broke our idols? Who broke our gods? What has happened? Who has done such a horrible thing? That person has done dhulm to us." And then there are a group of people that overheard the conversation that Ibrahim alayhi salam was having with those that were in the temple, saying that they can't do anything. Why are you worshiping them? And saying to them that your forefathers were wrong. And they quickly go and they say, "Hey, you know what? We heard of a young man by the name of Ibrahim, and he said that he was going to do something to them. We believe he's the culprit." The way they say it, they say that we know of a young man. That means that Ibrahim alayhi salam and what he was preaching to wasn't known everywhere else by everyone. It was just to specific people that were either at the temple at the time that he wanted to deliver the message, or his father when he had that conversation with him inside of his home. Now the message is going to be spread out. And that was the plan that Ibrahim alayhi salam had made. He wanted that everyone in the city hears what he has to say. So they go and they grab Ibrahim alayhi salam and they bring Ibrahim alayhi salam at the front. And now it's a whole court case going on. And they say, "Oh Ibrahim alayhi salam, oh Prophet Abraham, may peace and blessings be upon him. Are you the culprit? Were you the one that destroyed our idols that we worship?" Ibrahim alayhi salam smiles. And he says that, "Isn't that the idol that has the axe? Why don't you ask him? Because he's got the weapon." And they smiled and they laughed and they said that, "Oh, are you trying to fool us? Don't you know that this idol is lifeless? He can't speak." And Ibrahim alayhi salam, he says, "Then why do you worship this idol?" They get so angry with the fact that Ibrahim alayhi salam has now embarrassed them in front of every single person in the city. They said, "We must bring a punishment, and the worst kind of punishment, to Ibrahim alayhi salam." And they gather and they arrest him. Ibrahim alayhi salam does not resist arrest because this is all according to his plan. When we believe in something that is true, we stand firm with that. And that is what we're learning from Ibrahim alayhi salam. He stood firm in that belief in what he was preaching towards, which was the Tawheed of Allah. And the people, they now grab Ibrahim alayhi salam and they tie his hands and his feet. And the whole community was going to come together to decide what they wanted to do to Ibrahim alayhi salam.